Good morning, Chasm listeners. This is Kayla Weckworth, the Agronomist with the Waite Park Natural Resource Conservation Service Office, with your weekly conservation report for Saturday, December 2nd, 2023. This is probably the first you've heard from me, so let me introduce myself. I grew up in the Mid-Atlantic on the East Coast in Virginia and Maryland, and was brought up with a love for plants and an emphasis on the importance of conservation and knowing where your food comes from. So naturally, I ended up going for a bachelor's in crop and soil science to learn about just that. Now, how did I get here? I saw a job listing for the U.S. government, and I thought I should expand horizons. And every other mentor told me, you're young, go explore. And I'm like, all right. But I've only been here since May, so pray for me this winter. On to your weekly news. As a reminder, registration is still open for the 2024 Minnesota Organic Conference, hosted by the Minnesota Department of Agriculture. This two-day conference will take place January 11th and 12th, 2024, at the River's Edge Convention Center in St. Cloud, and is Minnesota's only statewide conference on organic agriculture. The event will feature more than 30 different breakout sessions, providing educational opportunities in things like organic crop production, dairy, livestock, fruits and vegetables, marketing, business, and more. Attendees will also have access to an 80-booth trade show. Goodness gracious. And the keynote speakers for this year's conference are Dr. Daphne Miller and Carolyn Olson. Early bird pricing has unfortunately passed at the time of recording, but registration is still open for the conference, and you can find registration details on the website simply by searching up MDA Organic Conference. Next up, our favorite holiday to give thanks is over, so we are officially in the Christmas season. If you haven't gotten your tree yet, I have some tips for you from Minnesota Grown on Christmas tree selection and how to keep your tree lively and green this year. First things first, you want to measure the space where you want your tree to go. You don't want to go out and get the perfect tree just to bring it home and it takes over your living room and or tries to puncture a hole in your ceiling. What kind of tree experience do you want? Something more fragrant, soft versus harder needles, pricing point? Well, if you're a fragrance person, most of the firs are going to be just right for you. Balsam in particular are popular, but Cannon, Korean, and Siberian all have their own pleasant, strong scents that you can choose from. If you have small children or just don't want to be poked by needles when you apply the lights or ornaments, the Scotch, Norway, and white pine, along with the Fraser firs, provide nicer, soft needles for you. Something about the white pine to make note of is that its branches aren't as strong, so maybe skip out on Grandma's heavier angel ornament. And finally, if you're a budget-conscious individual like myself, the pines as a whole and the balsam fir tend towards the cheaper side of Christmas trees. Once again, this has been Kayla Weckworth at NRCS, signing off with your weekly conservation report and wishing you all a very happy holiday season.